Hi, my name is Robert Torti. And I can shave. I did it an hour ago. The year was 1986. My manager called me, he said he has an audition for me. And I thought, really cool. He said, but this one, my buddy boy, is in New York. New York City? That's right. You're auditioning for your first Broadway show. And I said, yeah. Well, what is it? What is it about? He says, well, it's a new musical written by Andrew Lloyd Webber called Starlight Express. And I say, well, that sounds pretty cool. What's it about? And he says, well, the only thing we know is that it's based on the children's book, The Little Train That Could. Trains. Well, they're going to get actors to look like trains on stage. And my manager says to me, actually, all the actors are going to be on roller skates. You do roller skate, right? I mean, you told me you roller skated. That's why I submitted you. In fact, on your resume under special skills, it says you're an expert roller skater. Whoops. Now, I'm from the San Fernando Valley. I skateboard. What the hell? How hard could it be? So I get on a plane, I fly to New York. The audition process is 3 days. I make it past the first cut. Now remember, I don't know how to skate. But what I was really good at is standing behind people who did know how to skate. All I had to do was hit the pose when the music ended. It's like, Starlight Express, yeah. Toe stop, yeah. So somehow, by the grace of God, I managed to make it through the first 2 days of the cuts. So I'm there at 890 Broadway, and it's the final day on these hallowed grounds. So I walk into the room, and they probably saw about 1,000 people over the first 2 days. Now we're cut down to 50, and these are just the guys. So we go into the studio, and the choreographer says to us that we're going to do the same routine we did the last 2 days. The only thing different is we're going to call you out one at a time. I start to sweat. And if that wasn't bad enough, the door opens, and in walks 8-time Tony Award winning Andrew Lloyd Webber. And the director, a guy by the name of Trevor Nunn, 5-time Tony Award winning director, Cats, Les Mis. Besides them was the casting people, the producers, just a slew of people, probably 30 people. Now remember, there's only 50 of us. So I'm thinking to myself, it's been a good run. They take a few people out and they're doing backflips and splits and handsprings, all these things that I can't even do on my own feet. So I'm thinking, I'm going home. This is it. This is finally it. So my name and number gets called. Now remember, I don't skate. So they ask me to skate forward, and I do my best skating forward look. Then they say, can you skate backwards? So after a really long, awkward pause, it felt like an hour, which was probably only about 10 seconds, something just came into my head. To this day, I don't know why it happened, but it did. And I got on one side of the room, and as fast as I could, I skated across the room and face planted into the brick wall and fell down. I got up, skated across the room as fast as I could, head dove into a bunch of folding chairs. Crash, 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 fall down. Get up, skate across the room, head first into a trash can. Now while this genius is going on, I hadn't noticed that Trevor Nunn had come from around the table and he was helping me off the floor. Thank you, Trevor. And he puts his arm on my shoulder and softly, quietly says, "What the fuck are you doing?" I say. Obviously, I don't know how to skate. But I will learn, and I just want you to know that I'm not going to get hurt in the process. So Trevor slowly takes his arm off my shoulder and says, "Thank you for coming." Now, I have to leave. You know how big these studios are? And you know how bad a skater I am? This is what it looks like. Really had a great time. I wish you the best with the show. I mean, really. So I get on a plane the next day and I fly home with my tail between my legs. But there's a little slight, I don't know what it was. It was just that feeling that this was my first Broadway audition and I made it to the final day. So what the hell? 2 days later, my manager calls me and he says, "Well, they called from New York and you got the job." I was like, "What? I don't skate." So, I get the job. And actually, turns out to be one of the first of my 3 Broadway credits that I was lucky enough to have. And I can also say that I was the only one in a cast of 28 people who got nominated for a Tony Award. I mean, do you know what it means when a kid from the San Fernando Valley can say he was nominated for a Tony Award? You lost. That's true. My name is Bob Torti, and that is my worst audition.